Hello, welcome to Team Fortress TV. We've got the finals of the Gimmicks Guts and Glory Cup for you tonight, and it is Reason Gaming against Full Tilt. Reason had a slightly easier route into this final, but Full Tilt had to battle their way through TLR, which they managed to do in 2 maps in that semi-final. So the teams now Reason Gaming versus Full Tilt, and with me on the microphone is TurboTabs. Suyooo doing production here. How do you feel about these two teams, TurboTabs? Maybe a little bit of a surprise seeing Full Tilt here?
Yeah, it's a real Cinderella story, Sideshow. I mean, nobody expected what we could really just say is a mixed team. It might turn into a full team down the line, but as far as I know, I thought it was just a team mainly made up for the Cup, but it's just done absolute wonders so far.
Yeah, these guys have been playing together for a few weeks now, just kind of here and there, maybe 3 weeks, something like that. But yeah, as you say, Reason, TLR and Nerd Rage, all teams that they have beaten on their way to this final, have had much longer than they have in order to cement the same synergy and ability. So I think we can expect big things from these guys. Whether or not they can actually take it away from Reason Gaming is another thing entirely, though.
Well, either way, I think Full Tilt are just going to walk away with this with some kind of victory in the bag. They've got a lot further than anybody else thought they were going to go, and really credit onto them.
Yeah, absolutely. It will be a success story for them, but I know these guys are fired up to take it away from Reason in the final. And Reason as well will be super motivated not to lose this, because they don't want to lose to some random scrub mix team with people who've... You know, Thalash is an offcast of the Reason Gaming team. They don't want to lose to their superstar sub from previous seasons gone by. The maps for tonight are going to be Gullywash as our first map, as you see the teams bopping around, warming up on it right now, and then Snakewater for the second. The decider, if we need to go to it, is Badlands as well. So Gullywash was actually a pick from Full Tilt, whilst Reason chose Snakewater, leaving Badlands as the decider. So what do you think about that? The Gullywash pick is interesting, given that it's possibly a little bit of a slower map when you play against Reason, and Reason really love to control the pace of the game. And yeah, I think perhaps a questionable choice there from Full Tilt.
Yeah, it's very interesting to hear about that. I guess they're just trying to play into their own strengths rather than Reason's. I mean, Cadus loves this map. I think they first pick it all the time, so maybe Reason might be caught off by the pick themselves. But if you feel really confident with a map and you feel like it's really going to be the strength of your lineup. I know like Shadowburn can make really good use of the mid over on this map. He has some pretty unique jumps in of himself that you could actually like utilize that Roma class a lot more. And we actually have gone live, Sideshow.
We have indeed. Yes, Shadowburn is playing tonight for Full Tilt. That's a slight change to their normal roster, but I think a bit of an upgrade if I do say so myself. So they're going to be rolling out to this first mid on Gullywash. It's Reason versus Full Tilt. Thalash has taken a bit of a hit, and it's taken his buff away. Both of the scouts playing around Ali in choke. Silenta's going to jump up on that point as well as Shadowburn jumps round, but it's Mike going in there, trying to get the damage onto Cos. Cos goes down to 3 HP. Oh, and munches a pipe from Cadus as well. This is looking very good here from Reason Gaming. It's going to be a miracle if Thalash and Ale manage to rescue this. They're trying to get onto Nox, but can't quite manage it. Only Ale left alive on 5 health. Possibly going to get out. He is up top at the moment. Might get flanked actually. Cadus is coming up behind him. I don't see an exit here for Ale. Oh, very nice play from him. Manages
the
to
jump master Ali. Just getting out there. But yeah, that was just a textbook mid by Reason. Forsaken just kind of no time to talk about the schematics now. Sideshow, they've just gone straight in with the Uber, straight into last. Cadus is already sticking up the point, and it's over before it's even been said. 1 round, and that must have been like less than a minute. No, it was just above a minute at like 1 minute and 10 seconds. Wow, that is quick.
Yeah, minute 10 seconds, and that is all it needed for Reason to get a round on the board. It was, as you said, a very dominating mid-fight. The bomb from Mike really did wonders for the Reason team. He's going up, drop down now, TurboTabs.
I see Shadowburn taking this forward on the right-hand side, kind of like keeping Cadus inside that elbow area as well as the scout. It is doing his team somewhat wonders, but you have to keep in mind that Mike and Captain were absolutely, you know, tearing the team apart from the seams at the back of it, while Shadowburn was controlling up that little combo. So it seems that you can't even just focus down the combo. The flank of Reason will just tear that team apart on mid as well.
Yeah, Mike was destroying there from behind. He killed Koss with a fantastic bomb and then managed to get on to the rest of the players who were having a last-ditch effort. But I think the problem with Full Tilt here on these mid-fights is that they're setting themselves up to be flanked. They're all bunching up on one side of the mid, and then they're getting baited in, going for Nox and Cadus. But Nox and Cadus are just stringing them along while the flank comes in behind. It's all very well coordinated. The push in from last is going to be an Uber charge from that Riverside area. That's a nice shot from Captain onto Silentes. He does stay alive, but he's only on 40 health. Will get taken down by another nice rocket, and people are dropping slowly but steadily here. Only Ale left versus 5. He does manage to get Hafiko and quite a bit of damage, but it's 2-0 on the board already. This could, well, it looks fairly fast, and you know, Reason are the kind of team that even when they're winning, they don't often play this fast, so Full Tilt really need to grind their heels in and stop them taking an early advantage, otherwise they could find themselves in a losing position very early on.
Well, this competition is kind of a big deal, Sideshow. There is a prize of money as well, you know, for whoever the team that wins, so they need to really kind of bring out their A game if they want to take the prize home. And then the captain brings his A game by taking an air shot onto Ali. That was absolutely disgusting, Sideshow. And now we see Flash facing off against Happy Cool, but he's holding his own, and now he's just going back to the sweet heels of his medic of Nox. But you actually see the rest of Full Tilt kind of controlling up this right hand side. Everyone, Reason, was a little too weak to kind of commit to the fight. Captain backed out, but Cadus is just kind of playing the sniper role, if anything, just sitting back and sniping people with his stickies. They actually do take out Silentes, who went for the aggressive bomb. Flash as well. Now it's Shadowburn's time to jump in.
That's unbelievable. Silentes got Nox down to 3 HP. He did 147 damage. Thalash managed to do 3 damage to him, and Shadowburn missed every rocket. How Nox survived there is an absolute mystery, and that's a huge beef from Thalash and Shadowburn there, not to take down the French medic from Reason.
Did he actually have the Uber there, or did he just like man mode it and just said, I'm not going to use this, I trust my team?
Another drop. Oh, Thalash peeking through that Riverside area, gets the drop, but that's going to prompt the aggression out of Reason Gaming. Full Tilt are going to have to play this very smart with Silentes on 6 health and Thalash resupping back in the cabinet there. They've already taken down Koss. Mike's
Mike,
very weak.
He's doing so much damage. Oh, actually, Forsaken following up on that damage. He actually picked off Flash during all that chaos with the pistol from long range. I was a bit worried that Mike was going to walk away with any kill there to kind of recover after his medic dropping there. Yeah,
but he did so much damage. He set the rest of his team up to get those crucial frags and stopped Full Tilt making use of the fact that that Nox had dropped his Uber charge. Forsaken's waiting outside. I think they're anticipating a push for some reason, which I don't think is going to come. They now reassemble themselves. They're going to make their way into lower lobby, and Full Tilt setting up the defense. They have Thalash on sniper again, watching that Riverside area, but no other off classes, no pyro here for Full Tilt. We'll see how Reason choose to push this, even though they do have a bit of an Uber disadvantage actually. Ast and Koss building quite a bit better than their Reason counterparts.
Yeah, I think it was very smart coming out from Nox. I think he knew he wasn't building as quickly as Full Tilt could possibly be building, so if they go inside immediately and try and hold the doors, they could meet an Uber onto them whilst they have nothing to fight with. So very smart by the Reason team, just playing it safe than sorry, building outside and then bringing that Uber back inside and then moving everybody in.
Looks like it'll be a sack from Mike on that left-hand side. He's trying to get Koss is out on 7 HP, and the other 2 players that sack in cannot finish off that frag. That was almost exactly the same as Full Tilt's attempt onto Nox on mid. The medic goes down to single-digit health, but the other 2 players cannot finish anything. And now Silentes and Koss are going to be pushing from that big door with a 3-player advantage. Nox has smoked it down to 30 health. Gives them a slightly better Uber charge here, but Silentes is still going to be trying to take a fight in big door. Does a lot of damage actually to those 2 players, but him and Ast are going to go down, and those are 2 key players here for Full Tilt. They just have to back it up, and maybe not quite fast enough to push off that 3-player sack.
Yeah, they forced off the Uber there onto Cadus, and Cadus was very confident with that Uber. Actually, a full-blown push coming out from Reason, and Nox does get taken out in the beginning of this, but Forsaken does get Ali. That is a big pick on the last point. With no Demo Man, there's no last defense on that actual point itself, and as you can tell, it caps in mere second, Sideshow.
It does indeed. It was. I think Reason played that very well as well. They realised that they had an opportunity to push there off the Ubers, and as soon as Nox went down, they all flooded the point. It's some excellent decision making here from the best team in Europe. So let's have a look at this fourth mid, see whether Full Tilt can come out on top. Cadis has gone down to only 40 health. That's going to put a bit of a damper. And Shadowburn's gone in trying to finish off the frag, but I think he's just been completely baited in. Cadis has gone drop down and utterly bamboozled him. Shadowburn's just stuck behind now, and he's left the rest of his team in a precarious position because Reason are slowly but surely taking all of the ground here. Shadowburn in onto Nox. Only lands a single 50 damage rocket, and Full Tilt there, even though it was slower, they come out on the wrong end of it once again. They weren't able to capitalize on the room that they had been given by Cadis going weak. Instead, trying to finish off the frag. They didn't need the frag. Cadis was already out of the mid. They just needed to focus the other players, but a contrast in decision-making skills.
Yeah, it looks like Shadowburn was somewhat semi-blind. He was kind of relying on the calls of his team. He must have heard that Demo Man was on right-hand side. I'm going to bomb that demo, but it was just the demo. So Cadis could just easily kite that player out, even go all the way under. And while Shadowburn's chasing him, Reason are controlling the rest of the mid with all the other players, controlling the other side, controlling the actual point itself. And Cadis got notched back up with a nice low crossbow from Nox, and then it just made the fight impossible for Full Tilt to carry on without their rumour.
Mike in again. Oh, instantly taken out though, but the follow-up from Captain, they're going to go down. That's a 2-soldier sack here. And it has forced their Uber out. This is going to be a shockingly bad Uber situation. Reason just flood out. They're inviting Full Tilt. They're giving them the rope in which to hang themselves, and they are just pulling them out onto the second point here to Uber onto them. Silentis and Ast have been caught in a bad position, but actually, I don't know. Oh, they will get both of those frags. Sorry, on Thalash and Ast. Silentis did manage to get out up top here, but that Uber charge as well, not too successful. They will, I'm sure, push with that 2-player advantage, but they might be a little bit too slow. The spawns are going to come up just about now. Nox goes down, Forsaken already taken out here, and things are not looking very clean for Reason. They might still be able to get on top of it. No, they haven't. They haven't taken the position when they needed to, and Hafikul's just going to try and delay Full Tilt as long as possible here in this lower area.
Yeah, I think pretty much what Reason did there was they just waited out for all the scouts to kind of show themselves onto the second point, and then they decided to use that Uber to actually defend that point. And then when they took out those 2 scouts, they thought, well, we haven't taken out the medic or the demo man. We need to kind of make a best push of this while the players are down. But the issue with the Gully Wash is it's so easy to defend, and those respawners come up so quickly that 2 scouts isn't really the biggest issue for Full Tilt.
Yeah, absolutely not, but this might be a big issue for them. The Demo Man down with a 10-second respawn, and the Pocket's still down as well. Forsaken doing great work on that sniping roll, and there goes Kos! I didn't even see how he went down, but the Stickies of Cadis found him somehow. Captain trades for Shadowburn in a very impressive display of soldier skill, and Hafikul's gonna go onto the point. I don't know how Kos managed to die. I don't know what his positioning was like or something. Did you catch that, TurboTabs?
Pretty much he was just spammed down. Like, it was a combination of like spam rockets and Cadis kind of like shooting these, like those sticky snipes again, maybe from like the lower point. I can't entirely catch where he came from, but those he definitely wasn't in the fight when fighting him. It was kind of a strange move for Kos to actually die there. But
this is looking good here for Full Tilt though. They've taken down Cadis and the aggressive Mike right at the beginning, but Ast and Kos get destroyed by Forsaken. Forsaken doing so much work there. Thalash gets a return frag onto Nox, and now it's a 2v2. Oh, it's Silentis has managed to take down Captain, but he got his soldier partner, so now it's a bit of a 1v1. Forsaken is going to use the superior firing speed of the scattergun to pump 2 meat shots into the soldier there before he could get off his second rocket, but that was a very, very close mid. And
Forsaken just read Silentis like a book there. His team must have just come to him where he was and where he wanted to go, and he just waited around that corner, and he just knew that if he takes a rocket from that soldier, it will just do as much damage to him as it is going to do to him as well.
Yeah, it's very annoying when you catch a scout in that situation. As a soldier, you do vast amounts of self-damage. If you don't have the gun butts, you do about 70. No, in fact, if you do have the gun butts, it does the exact same amount of self-damage, which is a horrible thing to see. You still do about 70 self-damage if you hit a scout at a close range like that.
Oh, Shadowburn getting caught out in the lower area by Forsaken. He was over there by himself.
Big door, and it's a crits Krieg. I didn't even see it, but Cadis has got the crits, and they're going to be pushing now. They've And that last crit sticky there catches Salentes and Thalash. Ast as well going down. It's only Ali left alive. That's a full wipe from Full Tilt. And I cannot see this being anything other than a 5-0 here. This is not the beginning that Full Tilt would have wanted. Wow, and incredibly quick as well. 5-0 roll. 12 minutes that took for Reason to dispatch Full Tilt.
And you need to keep in mind, this was Full Tilt's map that they chose.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so the next map, Snakewater, is going to be Reason's pick. I cannot imagine it going any better. Well, actually, I can imagine it going better, actually, because I thought this was perhaps a bit of a misplay. Reason Gaming are very good on Gully Wash, and I thought it was a little bit odd, but I'm not going to second guess the teams. They gave it their best shot. That was what they were trying to... they were trying to get out to a strong start there. Actually had the exact opposite outcome, but let's have a look at the logs and see who we can blame for that.
I don't even think like that map that just played, it wasn't Reason outplaying Full Tilt. It just looked like they came engineered with a lot more tools and toys to really like mess with Full Tilt. Exactly what sort of strategies they wanted to go, and just executed them flawlessly. Down from the mids to the last pushes to everything.
Yeah, it really was. It was a masterclass there. The mid fights, it seemed Full Tilt didn't have an idea going into it, whereas Reason were very prepared. They knew exactly when Mike was going to attack. They were able to sync up their aggression on mids very well, and the last push is very clinical. Hafikul playing the point at the perfect times in order to take attention away from his team to get that cap time to secure the rounds. So a very good play by them. Ast really not having an impact in the game, going 3 for 10 with only 200 damage per minute. I think just Forsaken and Forsaken and Forsaken and Mike doing a lot of work there on the flank, just completely softening up the Full Tilt gamers in order to make it much easier for the rest of their team to get the frags.
I guess it just comes down to, if you're that scout, you're just really looking to finish off those players, but if the enemy team is just not damaged, what is there to finish off? So you're just kind of kicking back, waiting for your team to kind of do some major damage, and then maybe you can come in and blow people up, but it was just not that opportunity for Flash or Ast.
No, it wasn't working out for them whatsoever. Hopefully they can take it back on the second map that we're just about to go into now. It's going to be Snakewater. They have to be able to put up a better fight than that 5-0 in 12 minutes. I mean, the games in the group stages where they were playing against Reason were much, much closer than that. I think there was only one round between these two teams when they played in the group stages. And this is the complete opposite. I think Reason were actually playing with Raymond instead of Nox, so perhaps all we're seeing here is the difference that Nox makes. Perhaps that's the only factor at play. Also Bash, actually. Bash was playing instead of Forsaken, I believe, although it may have been Hafikul. So they did have 2 mercs for that, and 2 of their incredibly strong players, although everybody on their roster is incredibly strong. 2 of their incredibly strong players did not feature in the games where they were having very close matches against Full Tilt, so perhaps with the full roster they're just unlocking some synergy that this, as you say, very new team of Full Tilt doesn't quite have yet.
Do you think it comes down to the Shadowbone merc? Maybe they're missing their star player?
Very possibly, yeah. They are missing their superstar Roma Sideshow, but no, I don't think that's really a factor at all. Shadowbone, yes, he wasn't actually having an impact on that game whatsoever, and there were a few questionable moments where he bombed in and missed all of his rockets, but I don't think that's his fault. I think perhaps the team is just not feeling it. They're not quite gelling with each other as well as they possibly could. I mean, in terms of actual communication, then he's not bringing as much to the team as the normal roaming soldier, but I think certainly the upgrade in DM, as long as he doesn't choke like he did in 1 or 2 moments of the previous map, then he should be perfectly fine. I think what Full Tilt need to do here is just settle down, approach this as a completely different map, try and erase the previous map from their memory, and just go into it and take Snakewater and Badlands. It's actually quite rare to see Reason 5-0 another top team, because of the way that they play is often more, it's a little slower, it's a little more controlled, but because Full Tilt were putting up a really bad mid-fight initially, Reason were actually able to gather a lot of momentum and just rush all the way to that very, very quick 5-0. So, surprising, I think, but I think we'll see something different on Snakewater.
Yeah, it's really interesting, the Snakewater pick coming out from Reason Gaming, because I think everybody knows that Cadus isn't too fond of this map, and isn't really in the Demoman's right to kind of control as much as a Demoman would like, as opposed to Gully Wash. So I guess it just shows how much Reason have confidence in their other players on the team, controlling this mid. So we're gonna have a lot of looking into Mike and obviously Captain, see what sort of impacting bombs and controlling top they can do, as well as like the follow up from the scouts and what presence they can bring.
Yeah, I think Mike is the key player for them on this mid, unless Forsaken is running Sniper, which he occasionally does on Snakewater mids actually, so we need to keep an eye out for that if they decide to run a Sniper to mid. I'm not quite sure where he positions himself on the mid fights. You can position yourself on Catwalk and get a very shallow angle actually, but an angle right across the point onto the other Catwalk, or you can get an angle from the Saw Room right across the point, but you're at a height disadvantage. So if he does run the Sniper to mid, I'll be very interested to see how it works out here for Reason. But yeah, as you say, I think Mike and Captain, the two of them, are going to be the players to watch on this mid fight, and I think it'll come down a lot to how Full Tilt deal with that aggression, or it may not even be aggression, it may just be Mike going into the kitchen area and leaving Full Tilt in a position where they don't really know how to deal with him without exposing their backs to the rest of Reason. Yeah,
and if you've got that sniper, that Forsaken sniper you were talking about, and he comes out from actually that the Sawmill side, he will kind of lay prey to a very defensive Full Tilt who's just waiting for Mike to kind of pop his head out again. So they just kind of sat there as sitting ducks, and they can't really run away either, because Mike can kind of just like wrap around from that position of the kitchen and just completely keep them pinned in there.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this goes down. They do have the counter sniper of Thalash to use, the one mid where
we saw him actually on the last Scully Wash mid.
Yes, yeah, and that was their most successful mid, really. Probably not to do with how Thalash played it, although he did get a frag onto Nox.
He got two frags actually. He was doing pretty well. I think it was just at that point it was like, oh god, we don't know what's going on. We need like literally the most static sort of strategy change you can do, and which is like an off class really, where you kind of dedicated yourself, and it makes it very easy to kind of initiate that sort of plan. As I guess it's not too much on part of a team member, the whole team. It's more down to a member of the team, just seeing if he can perform. And to be fair, Thalash was performing, but the mid was just over so quickly. Reason played it so well to say how well Flash was doing. It just shows that if a sniper's really good, he's going to get those shots. But the fact that he can't get 5 shots in 5 seconds.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a limit to how you can do on these mids, but or how you can do in general as sniper. It's not a fast impact class in the same way that Scout is, but it does set you up for other opportunities. They do have all 12 players on the server, so we're going to be going live very shortly. This is of course the second map of the Gimmicks Guts and Glory tournament final between Reason Gaming and Full Tilt. The map is Snakewater. The decider is Badlands, but only if Full Tilt win this map. They lost the first one catastrophically in 12 minutes, 5-0 to Reason Gaming, but we have gone live with our second map. If you call switch into Spy just to make sure that there's no crit shenanigans coming out of course.
Oh, the dedication.
Absolutely, and we'll be going live with our first mid in just a second. I'm going to watch the Demoman battle, and then I want to see how Mike and Forsaken work. Oh, look at that! Oh, fantastic wow, what a rocket jump!
Wow, what a presence coming out from Mike in the first few seconds of the mid, and you can already see how sheepish Full Tilt are. They've actually launched up their first soldier, and Solentis just absolutely gets anti-air gunned into the sky, and smashed back down to earth and then craters in the end of it. And now the rest of Reason are just reaping the walls, not even dropping a single frag. I think Flash did make it out in the end.
Yeah, that was devastation there. No, Thalash is actually behind them. Thalash is in the kitchen area. He's going to attempt to take the fight with Hafiko, but he's got a health kit there as well, so everybody knows that he's behind.
And he's also got Mike backing him. So two of the biggest names and soldiers on Team Fortress 2 in general, not even just the EU.
Now, Captain,
that's a very scary.
He got Captain all the way down to 10 HP, but just couldn't finish off that frag. That's really unfortunate from Thalash. But now, Koss and the rest of their full tilt team are gonna have to try and defend this. Their backs are against the wall. There's an Uber charge coming in very shortly. It looks like it's coming from the left-hand side. Shut the door. Captain's leading it in onto Ali. Juggles him up into the air. Can't quite land that air shot.
Oh my god!
Has got a frag.
Oh, he just caught him.
Happy cool. This is a great defense here from Full Tilt. They're powering the heals into everybody, and Koss has almost got his Uber charge as well. Captain finds a frag on Shadowburn, who's a little too far ahead of his team, just trying to chase that frag on a very weak Mike. But with only those two soldiers alive, they really should be pushing.
Well, I guess Snake Wars is just a really difficult last push to make, especially when you saw Ali actually kited the majority of that Uber. Sure, he did die to the end, by the way, to a fantastic rocket. I think it was a direct coming out from Captain into his spawn door before he could actually get the health back. But you know, when Captain has to do like 90% of the work for just this one demo man pick, and he really had to work, and he has to fight off against a scout and all this such going in. It's just not worth it for the Uber. And now you actually see Full Tilt pushing out, getting this very easy cap onto second.
But they had to use their Uber charge for it, and they only got a single frag with that, and Shadowburn's gone down as well. Knocks on 53%. Are they going to opt for an aggressive push in? It looks like Silentus really wants to, but he couldn't make his way through the choke point properly, and Cadus and Captain are going to shut him down with ease. And now the flank from Mike, again perfectly timed, is going to find Koss like a sitting duck there. We do have team comms as well, so I think we'll swap over to the Reason team comms now and see how they're going to approach this last.
Let's go.
Solid is blocking me.
Because of
lobby, solid lobby.
One sniper if you want. Oh, that's sticks.
Far right lobby.
Fuck the police.
So it's weak in the air? Get.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, get right. I don't know what happened.
Okay.
Especially only 4. And...
Yeah, but sniper forget
actually
it.
only 3.
Nice.
Oh, yeah, it's not working. People, but yeah, something is wrong on last. Yeah, let's focus.
Yeah, you only 3. Oh.
I thought you were there, Mike.
I only just respawned.
Oh, my bad. Just tell me, if we begin to push and you outspawn, just call it, please. Okay, but I have advantage over now. But,
They have sniper right side.
okay, it's good, we can back up and we can do something. We have 2 scouts, so...
Let me stick it under.
Flag or at the flank on this
Does
situation.
my head show when I stand like this? Like above the train?
Your
your unusuals like popping out of
they're
you can hit the
right
top.
lobby, so they could be close to pushing.
They're in your train, basically.
They're holding forward. They're holding lobby.
Lobby.
I took 70 in lobby.
Down.
Nice, let's go. Go for force, go for force.
Okay,
Okay.
God, was under.
Oh, what the
I think
fuck?
they're in lobby.
Yeah, in red lobby.
Back down.
So I took 100.
spam, how do? I'm
Let's
on
fight,
last.
let's fight in lobby. Soldier 200 you, but
Please, please.
Wait,
Help them
wait,
so we
wait.
can
Down.
rush. They push under, they
Nice.
push under.
Push under. Arm.
I'm going low. You got me half?
Let's go, quick.
You two go, you two go.
They're going
I'll
to
follow
fly.
behind.
Catch them.
Solely on top, left side, behind.
I
Two behind scout.
Oh,
my
point,
god!
Fully above you.
Shooting demo.
Solely low.
Demo.
I'm
Nice.
we got this.
Put 100.
Nice.
Got
Keep scout.
Oh my god, I got meat shot through the door and a fucking arrow is waiting for me as I get meat shot through the fucking door. It's so retarded.
You get instant kill, Cadus. Can do
Yeah.
like I didn't react on this, like what the fuck?
Oh, I just got fucked, man. I'm so unlucky.
Yeah.
Falling
Another way
pushing.
out, so what the f. Let's change our middle a bit maybe. No, it's walking, never mind.
That was
Where are
left.
you, Mike?
Kitchen, out kitchen.
Okay.
Solely top left.
Aggro. Mike, let's go in now.
Lots
Let's
of
go in now.
damage. I'm 5 HP.
Go in now.
I took our health back.
Shooting me up top.
Fully
Oh,
left, fully
hold on,
left.
yeah.
Well, it seems like Sideshow did actually crash during the midst of all that. Sorry for the very, very long unlink there, where it actually did get that unlinked in the end. And oh, we've really been greeted to see now as Reason absolutely taking control of the middle, crawling all over Full Tilt now. You do actually see Koss is still remaining alive and somewhat happy, but that not for long with Cadus with that big ambitious bomb in. Koss is absolutely panicking. He's running around in circles. He's forced to use Happy Cool, even gets out without even taking the speck of damage. And saying that, it actually does take some damage from a long range rockets, but Reason have just gone out with a job well done. They've actually forced the Uber out. Then again, they have actually countered with their own Uber, with Shadowburn actually forcing that out of Nox. But Reason don't care right now. They've just completely taken the Uber away from Koss, as well as captured the second point, another mid one, possibly even another round. And now we see Ast slapping out the heavy weapons guy, seeing if he can hold back the Reason squad, but they've actually slow pushed this all the way onto the last point, actually getting a bit of cap time, but they're really struggling to get back onto that point, especially with Ali controlling the point. Cadus does actually find his way onto the point there, but he actually gets taken out by Sideshow, and he did lay some quick stickies. Maybe he could have capped it off just a tiny little touch, and Mike tries to go under, seeing if he can get the back cap, but it's not written in the stars for Reason Gaming. Full Tilt do fight back for now.
Yeah, that last point, very, very close to being capped there. They got away with that by the skin of their teeth, but this is already a much, much tighter game. Reason making a few more mistakes than they did in the previous one, or maybe Full Tilt just getting into grips with how they're playing. They weren't able to get a warm-up for this game, actually, so maybe they're finally now into it. Here comes the Uber charge. Stellantis and Allied pushing this one forward really far,
wow.
And Nox, Captain, Forsaken, and Mike all going down with a 15-second respawn. Hafikul still hanging about underneath, though. That was a nice... Oh, and another nice air shot. Absolute destruction there onto Hafikul and Cadus, and nobody getting that forward spawn. A full wipe from Reason Gaming. A very, very well executed push from Full Tilt.
Yeah, Full Tilt have a whole new wind under their sails now. They're feeling the motivation, like the momentum, I should say, going into this last point now, and it's just a 1 point difference. They can pull this back very easily. They've got 20 minutes on the clock, so they've got plenty of time to do this. They could probably even take their time and just kind of like crack down almost the perfect little push, but not too long, mind you. Nox does have that Uber creeping back up alongside Koss is now fully charged Uber.
Yeah, they have to go pretty shortly. They're going to choose that Scout and pocket
Koss,
Uber, but Koss
is disconnected from Ast.
Yeah, Koss has been pushed away. Ast
Oh.
actually managed to take down the heavy of Hafikul, but Thalash has gone down here as well. This is going to be a tough one for them to get back into. Its 4v4. Ast is just playing the point perfectly though, and does manage to get it. Well played there by Ast and the rest of Full Tilt, because that could have gone disastrously for them. Reason got a very nice juggle onto Koss as his Uber charge came in, and it took a whole lot of effort there to rescue that from the jaws of disaster.
Yeah, that heavy surviving was very, very important for a reason, and shame it didn't happen in the end. They didn't have enough players to kind of block off that point. It was just Forsaken with 10 HP to kind of deal with that, but you do see Mike jumping in. He's completely denied, but this gives a window for Forsaken to climb in, but all he's climbed into is his own death, and now Captain's just trying to straggle off all this untold aggression onto him, but then again, he's just a poor little soldier. He's only got 4 rockets, just like anybody else. And now Ali's doing the massive big forward, but Cadus with the pipes! The air pipes, that was absolutely disgusting!
Double air shot, that is unbelievable. Great stuff to defend his medic, but look, Ast is in behind actually. Ast manages to get the frag onto Nox there and take him down. Captain with the return kill, but that's given a huge Uber advantage over to
Mike
Koss.
is just going in. Oh, he does get taken
out. I think they're going to sack everybody in. Look at Forsaken coming around behind as well.
He is surviving. Forsaken is trying his best. He actually gets the kill onto Koss, and now they've actually picked off another kill as well. They've even picked off Shadowburn, and he comes in, the jump master. He actually does take out Healthy Cool and Captain, salvaged by Ali, the Swede, and now he's just rushing in straight on this left hand side. He's up against the final boss, Cadus, with a buff on this last point. He's trying his best to defend it. Now his minions are coming in. Mike is holding it off, but they actually do take out Cadus. Nox is just keeping everybody alive during all this chaos. Ali's just decided to back out, but Captain's like, no, you will not escape. You've made the wrong decision, sir.
Yeah, that was incredibly close there. I know what Ale and Stellantis were trying to go for, but perhaps they should have focused their attention on Nox instead of the point and just tried to go for that med pick.
Shadowburn's
Shadowburn's in for a really big bomb. Really nicely done there. The first rocket just juggling Nox up and the second one slamming into his face. And there's only...
Sink bomb there. Our Captain with his own little bomb, but Kos with a very nice serve, kind of just grazing against Captain's little bombs there. You actually see Mike is still just kind of spamming from that... just inside the base, he's not really getting much done. But
let's have a listen to the full tilt comms.
Just go, ignore the soldier. That's too late, too late.
95, 95.
Oh my god, I got to solid weak. 95.
I'm done.
Out, that out. We all
yeah, just try and get the mid, boss.
Run.
I'm running.
Like, you should chill out as soon as we got denied by the soldier.
Yeah, did we had advantage in there?
He got arrowed twice.
Like it was stupid.
Yeah, but like, we shouldn't shoot him as soon as you like did damage on 4 of us. I'm gonna go for a force.
Focus forward. Or like, focus in the future.
Oh,
I'm behind, but they don't know.
I fucking molested them. Oh, didn't do any damage to the mid.
Behind.
There's
Med was...
Just get right side, top right.
As if Cadus is fucking standing still, watching behind, waiting for an arrow. Are you joking?
Right, chill out, chill.
They sound like they are in full tilt mode. They are really gutted that they messed up that opportunity to go 2-1 in the lead there, and they're throwing away some of their players.
They are worthy of that name. You could just tell when the momentum tied, they were dead silent, and then suddenly like a coming out from Solentes, and now as you could say, the momentum is completely turned all the way, and now Reason is actually fighting up against onto their last point. One could say this is a heartbreaker round.
Yeah, but Solentes has got the force out. Solentes has got the force, and the Ubercharge has been popped on that bottom area. They're not going to be able to take this into last, and Alice Pipes do absolute miracle work, taking down all 4 of these players on bottom thanks to him and Ass teaming up. If Ass can get this frag actually onto Nox, he should be able to, yep. An unlikely whiff there from Ass, but that was great stuff by Ale. They read exactly where Reason were going to come from, and Ale pumped so much damage into that tiny little doorway.
This last point, Sideshow, teams just can't crack it. What is it about this last point of
they're trying to take it a little too quickly as well, both of these teams, but it's also really nice defenses from all of these teams. It's not so much that people are whiffing their pushes, but there's some great parts of defense coming out here as well. Mike's stuck in a bit of no man's land, but he is behind everybody. He might be able to get the frag on Shadowburn here if he teams up with somebody, but Kosa's gotten down to Captain, and they've managed to get the return frags on both of the soldiers. This is going to be full tilt, pushing in, really trying to go aggressive onto everybody. Shadowburn takes a big meaty something in midair, but manages to get Hafikul nonetheless. Cadus caught out a little bit, but as long as Nox doesn't go down, Reason are laughing.
Wow, that was a very scary situation for Reason to be. They lost both soldiers, and all 5 members of Full Tilt were just launched towards that medic. And to be fair, they did do a very good job. Nox is alive, and they're actually recapping this second point. But good God, how scary it was. But Cadus actually did a very fancy footwork there, just delaying so much time just to get that little 1 pick onto the demo man. So it's all gravy for Reason.
Yeah, Reason are going to be pushing in very shortly. I think they're going through that storeroom area. They've managed to knock off the sticks that Ale had there. They jumped through the choke point just in case anyway, and Nox is given the all clear to go through. Shadowburn hiding on that catwalk area, but nobody's actually going to go for a force, and Nox is pushing it all the way through here before they've even started capping the mid. And look how far back Full Tilt are forced to go, all the way back into their own lobby while mid is being capped.
Well, and now they've actually captured this mid point, Flash is on the sniper class. He actually has been launched back by Captain, and you did see a bomb in from Shadowburn, but he was actually controlled very well.
Out from Ale and Kos. They're not managing to find anybody with it. Flash and Shadowburn have actually gone down, and that crits from Ale completely unsuccessful. They're not able to find anything with that at all. Solentes tries to do the best that he possibly can here, but I don't think this is going to be possible to defend. They actually get their respawns in time. Oh, if Reason push in now, this could be very bad for them. Captain and Forsaken teaming up to take down Ale, but they're on that right hand side, and Cadus has been taken down in return. It's a 4v4 situation. Nox does have an advantage, even though Kos is running that crits creek, but they're just trying to make the play, I think, onto Nox here. Even Kos going for that cheeky arrow.
Slow down is just not an option for any of these teams. They just always want to do something at all times. Reason there could have kind of took bide their time there, get everybody healed up, but the captain was like, no, I'm going in. He launches in, dies immediately. The rest of his team try to follow up and almost die in the process as well.
Alright, now we've got a crits versus Ubercharge going into last. I want to listen to Full Tilt how they use these crits.
You still map, I'm watching Steam Trip.
So
on your right side. You just want to try to
Let's
force
go
them
on
here?
double crit, so just go on double crit.
Okay. Two soldiers
lobby.
Yeah.
Go back in.
Use. Demo took 200.
Take it on me if he dies.
Yeah, use. On him.
I can't
Come back.
Can we get out?
I'm down. They have a sniper.
Is he window?
Yeah, he's window. He's
Watch
drop
point.
down.
I got that.
Do they still have Uber?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Under.
4 ZOWIE with this.
He's point.
Took 80 on point. He's gonna play it again.
Focus on.
Spawning now,
Scout on
spawning
point.
now.
Skill
Step
set.
out.
Medic behind. Nice. Soldier
Soldiers
on
we can
no, it's
back.
Let's stick away from crits, I don't like it.
Yeah, I'm really shitty with crits.
Well, I wasn't going to say it, but I'm glad Ala did. They didn't even manage to get the force with that last crit streak. That's appalling. In an Uber v crit situation, the very least you can expect is to get a force out in a bad situation, but they couldn't even manage that. 2-1 to Reason, and that really was a heartbreaker round because Full Tilt had many opportunities there to dig themselves out of the mire they left themselves in.
The big, nice, early present jumping Mike has just launched himself onto mid, kind of forced Ali to kind of back off for a second there. Now the rest of Reason have actually played off the fact that Demoman just showed a sign of weakness at the very few seconds of that game. Ali actually gets caught out there, stuck on his teammate, trying to get out in the end. And now Reason just cleaning up all the stragglers. Flash actually gets a nice little pick onto Mike, who was trying to get Koss there. So Koss does manage to get out with his Uber charge intact. So maybe they can hold this. This is Snakewater, Sancho.
They absolutely should be able to hold this on the last point with their Uber charge, but we'll see what off classes they go for, if any, because if they do manage to get a successful defense, they'll be wanting to push out with it. Both teams opting for a sniper. Just had a look at the scoreboard as well, and Forsaken here with 4 dominations on the board, playing fantastically well. He and Mike were playing excellently in the previous map. Mike not quite having the same impact he was on Gullywash, on Snakewater, but Forsaken stepping it up even more perhaps, and now it's all on him for Reason Gaming to break this stalemate and try and make something happen. But Shadowburn shutting down that sniper so perfectly with the little CS peeking around that corner.
Yeah, some very nice game sense from Shadowburn, realising that's the spot that Forsaken wants to take, and
he's out for a bomb. He's out for a bomb, but getting absolutely blasted there by hit scan damage.
And
oh my god!
A few rockets
not a
in the
chance.
air as well, just for a good old-fashioned air shot opportunity.
Yeah, there was absolutely no chance he was getting onto anybody there. Hafikul doing his pocket scout role perfectly, managing to shut down that bomb, and Mike's going in for one of his own. There's nobody in a position to really deny him. Thalash, the only scout on the field, is not positioned on any high ground, and he gets out. The difference in how they're positioning themselves, these teams, you know, Hafikul stood on a piece of high ground in front of where Nox is so that he can deny any bomber, and Thalash is on the floor, stood almost inside Koss.
Well, to be fair, Koss does have like a nice little base that none of Reason can get to. So worst comes to worst, when Mike gets in there, Koss just backs out to that respawn, and he just can't do anything at that point.
Oh, they're gonna push with this. They're gonna push with this 2-pick advantage. Forsaken's already respawned on Scout instead of Sniper. This might work out well here for Full Tilt, depending on how the Uber charge goes. And it looks like it's gonna go dreadfully. Nox still holding on to his Uber, only just now popping it as Koss disappears. Koss manages to get out of there, but Aleph, Thalash, and Solentis are all going down, and that push out was disastrous for Full Tilt. The only silver lining is that Koss escaped and will now be able to dish heals out, but the spawners coming in 5 seconds. Can they even hold on that long? Reason are coming in. They smell the blood. It's only Shadowburn there, and that was momentarily a wipe. The spawner's not going to get in time. Cadus with a humiliation 3k with a crit pipe air shot, but 3-1 the score in favour of Reason Gaming. And hopefully Full Tilt haven't let it slip, because if they let the momentum go against them here, we could be seeing them slowly decline into a 6-1, even though the first few rounds have been so close. I want to listen actually to the comms here for all Reason.
Ready jump aggressive, Bob, sorry on me. Just go forward, leave, I'm down. Go forward, go forward.
Are we pushing kitchen in like 2 seconds?
Them took 200 on point this week as well, 60 HP.
Medic on a point, medic on a point.
Skull was 40, green one.
Medic! For medic, if you can.
Oh,
medic is backing.
Man, it's gonna die.
Nice. I just hopped on.
Kitchen. What the fuck?
I'm going Chris. Waiting spawner.
Spawn.
Just build out that Chris.
I'm gonna run mid help.
Surviving, I'm on you.
I got with it.
A rare unsuccessful mid-fight there from Reason. They could not get onto Cos until right at the end. Nox was screaming for them to try and get onto him. Forsaken was missing all of his shots there. And in the meantime, the rest of Full Tilt managed to put so much damage out onto the players of Reason.
Yeah, Full Tilt learning there. They've dealing with Mike, who's showing off this really early aggressive bomb right at the start of the mid. They're dealing with that much better, and they're actually getting the scouts really aggressive after that. Once Mike has to pull out and kind of get all his rockets back up, regen back up.
The crits is live. TurboTabs, and they come in from Catwalk. The first crit sticky instantly catches Cos, and that is the target they were after. The rest of them now are forced really to try and go aggressive. Silenta's taken down even though he got that health pack. Thalash mulched in the choke area as well. And this is, I don't see any of the players here getting onto everybody. Shadowburn going in for a bomb but hasn't really found anyone. Only Captain. They were really after Nox, but Ast is on him as well, but just cannot land the necessary damage. Nox is giving them all the dukes. Escapes on 10 health. What a masterful piece of work there from Nox.
It's a shame. Full Tilt kind of just showed a bit. Oh, actually, it's not over yet. Silentes has gone for like the double little surf, and he's tried to get his way onto Nox, but he does actually get punished for it.
Yeah, can't quite find it there, but Nox is managing to survive in all of these situations, and he's got a crit streak up already again.
I think Full Tilt there kind of suffered a little bit in communication. You could tell that one scout wanted to focus Nox there and just pick him off, whilst Shadowburn, if he just turned around, he could have helped actually kill that medic like 10 seconds ago. It was a very long time, but he was just trying to deal with this scout and soldier in front of him. And then when he finally does try and help, he just lays waste to all the work he's done against that scout and soldier he was fighting against. So they walk away with nothing in the end.
They know at least this time that they are against a crit, so what plans do they have, or what have they put in place in order to negate it? They don't have a pyro playing around Cos, which is one counter. They do have the crits coming out right now. It finds Cos with the first sticky once again. Silenta's dodging around, will eventually get caught though by the crit rocket coming out of Captain. And Ales munched on a bit of damage, but continues to pump it out on that shutter door area. Done so much damage to Haffikul and Mike, but there's nobody really to block the point. And this is going to be a 4-1 to Reason Gaming.
Man, that was just like artillery fire there. Everyone was just so back and away from each other. Usually in these sorts of skirmishes they're in the thick of it, but Reason actually opted there to kind of win the fight from just pure spam, and it worked. You know, once you take out that medic, you know, there's no heals for that spam.
Yeah, they're playing it very safe, but also pretty smart, because as soon as they get the pick on the medic, that's all they really need. They know that there's not an uber charge coming in, they have the heal advantage, and they also have some crits in order to deal with any aggressive players. What a shot! What an insane shot from Silentes onto Mike. Destroyed him with a mid-air air shot there, and Full Tilt are rolling things forward. They really want to get onto this. They're going to be chasing down Nox as well. Is Thalash going to be able to get onto him? Nox is trying to escape on that left-hand side. Mike's going to get a very early spawn because he was the first one to go down, and Thalash is going to back off. But they know that they have a bit of an uber advantage. If they build it quickly, they potentially could. I want to listen to their comms, see what they've got planned.
You may pop before you go.
We're about to push last, like
95. Just
at 95.
Let's go.
go.
Right.
I'm pushing up.
David, sniper down.
Yes.
Try to get picks on left.
Left
side, play left.
Let's go.
So just chase me under. Why?
Why?
It's okay.
They took 100 each.
Solid's weekend, right? 71.
Yeah, are they so sticky? Oh, it's just
All the damage point.
It's just you.
That's not like they got you.
Chunk it out, actually. Yeah.
Go what? You got out?
You got that.
They're gonna chase the shit out of me because they're.
The classic Ala noise coming out there as he escapes by the skin of his teeth. But yeah, Cos getting caught there instead of moving to the left hand side with the rest of his team. He kind of got stuck a little bit and had to try and escape through that lower area. and got caught by one of the soldiers. Forsaken's in on the flank again, takes down Koss. Does die in return, but is that going to prompt the aggression? It really should. Nox has got 75%. If they can try and get onto him now, this would be the perfect opportunity.
Ast is on him. But the rest of his team is backing him up, and that Ast has been absolutely mulched. You do see Flash trying to peek around this corner as the sniper. Ali's even laying up some defensive snickies. I guess I'm really hungry, but stickies for his sniper. Ali is actually fighting off against Mike in this lower area now. He actually finds Nox in the midst of it, but
Ali accidentally finds himself face to face with the medic on full Uber, but doesn't have anything loaded. Yeah, doesn't have anything loaded, wasn't expecting it, and so it's up to Shadowburn. Shadowburn, though, again, just all of these solo plays have really not worked out for them. Forsaken takes him down, and the rest of Full Tilt is deemed in a good enough position for Nox to pop his Uber charge off. Thalash on 20 health, but Full Tilt really haven't done that badly out of it. Thalash has gone down now, and Ali's going to go down as well. This is the time to escape that frag on those last two frags there onto Ast and Ali really were. Sorry.
You're right, Sideshow. They didn't do that badly. They did terrible. That was absolutely terrible.
It wasn't looking too badly for them just to the end of the Uber charge, but then they chose to actually go in once again into the kitchen and put themselves in a position where they're going to get stuck. And this is going to be 5-1. I cannot see them recovering from this. It is literally impossible now. The winners have already been crowned here. It's terms of pride. Pride is the only thing they're playing for anymore, because the $300 for first place and the ZOWIE ZA mice have gone over to Reason Gaming already. This last 3 minutes is worth nothing to these teams other than to potentially try out some strategies and see how everything works. Shadowburn in with a huge bomb though onto Nox there. Only 40 health, but it really has been a case of Reason making far less mistakes than their counterparts and playing a lot more together. All of their plays have been well timed together. There's always 2, maybe 3 people working in synergy at the same time. Whereas with Full Tilt, they tending to get picked off one at a time. Shadowburn out of sync with the rest of his team, perhaps. Silentes as Pocket going in, trying to make up for the misplays of his flank by coming up with plays of his own, which then leaves Koss alone at times. It has not been their finest hour.
I think if we could sum up this game, we could kind of share a tidbit from before where Reason Gaming are outsmarting their opponents, whilst when Full Tilt are working, they're actually outplaying their opponents. But I guess outsmarting is always going to work against outplaying. It's really hard to kind of keep these plays constantly generating, especially against a team like Reason, who've got so much under their belt in the terms of plays as well. But if you can just outsmart your opponent, it's going to work 90% of the time, as compared to maybe like the 20% of the time when it comes to these outplays.
Yeah, and another well, it looks like Full Tilt are actually doing fairly well now that they're kind of they've lost the mentality of having to care about the game.
And it means nothing.
Yeah, they're playing a lot more aggressively, and they're actually it's working pretty well for them. But
maybe Reason are just kind of slapped on the easy mode and just kind of kicking back the feet.
Very possibly as well.
Opening the trophy cabinet.
Yeah, there were quite a lot of times in which they were left in an uber disadvantaged situation, Full Tilt, and they were forced to make a play onto Nox. Either Koss had gone down or they'd been forced or something like that. And Nox is so well protected at all times that they really didn't manage to kill him or find the frag on him very many times. They must have tried at least 10 times throughout the game to get him. I think maybe 1, possibly 2 were successful. Nox is so well defended by Hafikul and those 2 soldiers who position themselves around him perfectly, and Nox knows when to drop back and when to press up with his team. So that really has been, I think, their biggest advantage there, the ability to keep Nox alive in all of those situations and just mop up that aggression from Full Tilt. And
not just that, but also picking off Koss very easily as well. It seems like he would just randomly die to like a lightning bolt from the sky, picked off, and nowhere to be seen on how it was taken out and how it was done. Then again, most of it was down to the crits, and it is a very peculiar, difficult situation for, as a medic, kind of avoid that crits. Especially when you've got Cadis aiming up these literally perfect stickies. I've never seen a demo man just so consistent with the crits.
Yeah, it was fantastic. They each one of it was the very first sticky every time he did it as well.
Every time.
Found Koss with that first crit sticky, even when they knew that they were running crits.
Yeah.
They just hadn't prepared for it enough, and Cadis, with the information given by the rest of his team, was able to find Koss in every single one of those situations and pick him off. So there you go. The GGG tournament champions are Reason Gaming. In second place, Full Tilt, and they managed to beat Nerd Rage on their way here. They managed to beat TLR as well, but they got an absolute stomping tonight by Reason Gaming. They looked the worst team by a country mile. Reason winning the first map 5-0 in 12 minutes, and the second map, Snakewater, 5-1. So a very strong showing here by Reason Gaming.
Yeah, unexpected results. I think everybody was kind of more predicting on the time that Reason would win rather than who would win.
Yeah, it would have been an underdog story had Full Tilt managed to take it, but given how close they were in the group stages, it is still, I think, a little bit of a surprise that they lost the first map so convincingly. I mean, the second map for the first half, it was very close. The first 3, maybe even 4 rounds were insanely back and forth, and Full Tilt definitely had an opportunity to get into the game, and by the end of it as well, they were winning almost every mid-fight. See, at the beginning, Reason were winning all the mid-fights, but it was a lot closer. At the end, even though Full Tilt were winning the mids, they were still managing to mess up so consistently on the second pushes that Reason were able to really take control of the map, and that's not something you see every day. A team doing better when they lose the mid-fights and doing worse when they win them.
Yeah, I think it was more comes down to Reason and Full Tilt versus Snakewater. It seems both teams kind of struggle with this map and how to really grasp when's the best time to kind of cut the losses or just not get so greedy.
Yeah, that's another thing as well. The last is quite difficult to push. It can be one where you feel like you should have an opportunity to push, but you haven't quite factored in the earlier spawn times or the distance that you have to reach, or how early you're going to have to pop the Uber charge, and so it can have a few little quirks like that. But I'm looking at the logs now, and I can see that really the star players, Captain and Mike, with 11 and 13 air shots, absolutely outplaying Shadowburn and Silentes. But I'm really impressed by the soldier talent in Europe at the moment. It really is fantastic. You have so many great soldiers playing. It's a delight to see these guys cracking off the air shots left, right, and centre. And Cadis with that beautiful double pipe onto Ale as he jumped in trying to get his medic as well. Fantastic stuff.
Yeah, this is the age of the soldier. With those Demoman nerfs a little bit while back, the soldier is allowed to step up just that little bit more, maybe get a lot more Ubers in as well, and really kind of flex his muscles. And this just paves the way for teams like, well, players even, like Silentes, Captain, and of course Mike.
Yeah, it was a very, very interesting game, but it has all finished now. That is Gimmicks, Guts and Glory, sponsored by SweetStakes.tf and ZOWIE Gear. Big props to those guys. Go visit SweetStakes.tf, the site run by Gio, fantastic guy, and a very fun site as well. Do use it responsibly though. And ZOWIE as well, fantastic gamer gear. If you're ever looking for mice or anything like that, do check them out. Top quality stuff. Not just saying that because they sponsor the tournament. My gear is all ZOWIE as well. I really do highly rate them, and they come highly rated by a lot of these guys as well. So check out our sponsors for this tournament, and thank you TurboTabs for casting this alongside me. And this has been Gimmicks, Guts and Glory on Team Fortress TV, wrapping up for tonight.
Shout out to Suyooo.
Of course, Suyooo on production. Big boy Suyooo.